Good evening and welcome everyone joining us for tonight's very interesting matchup. It's going to be France versus Japan. We've already seen Japan take on Italy yesterday night with a bit of struggle here and there, but still managing to take the win from Italy. And are they going to be able to do the same against France? Italy and France likely the two favorites of the competition, but Japan a strong third and maybe becoming the favorite now. I'm Oscar, your host, and with me tonight is Alberto. Alberto, how are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. How are you doing at the moment?
I am excited to see this match. So unfortunately, I didn't watch the Italy versus Japan yet. I was with France and Germany, but I was following the scores, and it was a tight match yesterday night, and we're gonna hope for the same tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, and definitely finished 4-3 for Japan, and until the last leg, Italy had the victory. But in the last leg of the F50, they lost the race.
So that was a real
Was a
intense
real
race,
roller
I'm gonna
coaster.
guess. And it's a go. We've seen Kazuki just running out of the penalty as he was crossing the start line. And we see a returning player in the French squad. We didn't see him in the previous matches, but he is a well-known player in the French community. I'm talking about ATL Pepito with Black Panther on the French side. Pepito missing the first matches, but here tonight. So it's good to see him still in this French squad. Black Panther is starting to get a regular, I'm going to say, for as the female player in the French squad. They're kind of
Yeah.
alternating between Barbie and Black Panther. So yesterday we had both females, and tonight looks like we're going to be having Black Panther. What about this Japanese side?
On the Japanese side, we have Kazuki, that is the rising star from the east of the Far East, and then we have Kanako, that she attended so many. She attended the Women for War for eSailing since the beginning, so definitely is someone with a lot of experience. I believe Black Panther here will have a lot of trouble to fight against the Kanako that we used to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Black Panther is going to be out of her comfort zone. She is also an elite offshore player, but the skills on offshore don't necessarily transfer to inshore. So we'll see how she fares tonight. She did do very well against Germany yesterday. Unfortunately, because of a hiccup from my side, I did not record that first race. So we're gonna have to take my word for that. And Kazuki, the first one to reach the mark, followed by the two French and Kanaka closing the march. The French in a winning combination at this moment, and we'll see what the Japanese will do.
We need to remember that in the 2v2, the last one is having the last one is losing the competition, no matter what is the other player qualified. So we needed to check only who is finishing in fourth position.
Yep. And well, the two French are going to start their downwind kind of split in. We're seeing Black Panther going straight towards Kazuki, and Pepito is going to steer a bit to the left, a bit on her port, trying to make sure that he's not going to slow her down. And Kanako behind is going to slow down both French players and choosing at the end to focus on Pepito.
This is an interesting choice. I cannot. I want to understand what is the tactics behind this, because covering Pepito is mean that you and Pepito will be the last two. Pepito, one of the strongest eSailer at the world. He made probably 2 appearances or 3 appearances at the World Finals. So I'm not sure why to choose the battle against him. Probably so in the other case, Kazuki will be against the Black Panther.
He's currently also the French national championship until they finish their national. So still holder of the title, Pepito. So indeed a very strong player, and Kanako has a lot of confidence going up against him, but she is managing pretty well so far.
Amazing Kanako here.
Yeah, we see Kazuki slowing down slowly at the top of your screen over there. waiting to see what will happen between Kanako and Pepito. And a penalty from to Kanako from Pepito, as he was jibing away, trying to avoid her penalty and putting the penalty on her instead. He's going to take a small lead, but definitely still in reach of Kanako's wind shadow. And meanwhile, at the top, you're seeing a Black Panther taking a penalty from Kazuki. And Kazuki just sitting on her. And it's going to put another penalty. And we have foiled in the chats with a prediction of 6-1 in favor of Japan.
That's pretty harsh. A 6-1 for Japan. I will believe there will be a 4-3, but even at this moment, it's really hard to predict who will be.
Yeah, because I was going to say the same. I think it's going to be a narrow victory, 4-3, but for who, I don't know. Black Panther decided to round the first mark and kind of slowing down in that reaching leg, meaning that Pepito is going to be alone trying to fend off the two Japanese approaching this downwind mark.
This tactic work is the same tactic they used against the Italian. So both of them against the strongest player and Kazuki doing a mark trap. This is an interesting tactic here, and they are already replicating it. So definitely is a scheme they try in a race before.
Yeah, we saw Kazuki waiting for Pepito at the mark, and Pepito pushing Kanako as far as away. I'm guessing to cover himself in case he does get the penalty. Kanako will be far behind enough so that he doesn't lose too much room when he gets out of the penalty. But Black Panther waiting for the Japanese at the mark. She's going to try to perform a mark trap on the two Japanese as well, trying to help her teammate. Pepito doing well to avoid the penalties so far. Kazuki also positioning himself for a mark trap, pushing Pepito out of the way. Kanako is going to try to sail clear and manages to sneak in between Black Panther and the mark. And suddenly Kanako is in the lead, and Kazuki as well, according to the ranking on the left. The French in a pretty difficult situation right now.
Yeah, as we have the discussion earlier in the other events, having a person ahead in the last upwind is necessary. At the moment, we need to see if Pepito actually can cross in front of Kazuki or not.
Yeah, everything is gonna rely on, well, for the Japanese keeping this 1 and 2 position, and for the French managing to put one of the Japanese in 4th place. It's gonna be very hard to get both of them. And well, I'm gonna be looking at the chat, and I think most of them are agreeing with us that the winner is gonna be the country with the red and the white on their flag. So it could be either France or Japan.
Yeah, too easy that way.
And Remenyan, so you're talking about the Vendée Globe Live that we did Sunday. Check your mails, check your spams, check your in-game inbox. You should have received a message from one of my colleagues from offshore. I'm going to say that in French, exactly what I just said in English. Yep. Regarde bien tes mails, tes spams, tes messages dans le jeu. Normalement, ils vous ont contacté, enfin, mes collègues vous ont normalement contacté. Let's get back to this, and it looks like it's going to be a 1 and 2 for the Japanese, giving the first round to the Japanese.
Yep. Amazing start for Japan. I believe Kazuki Kanako is the team that you need to beat.
Kazuki Kanako, a very strong duo there, and they've proven it multiple times.
Yeah, definitely some team that it's really, really tough to go against it. Kazuki is demonstrating the reason why he is going to the final in Stockholm in 11 days, actually. And this is he has amazing tactic, amazing strategy, a little bit of luck that doesn't hurt, and in that way is keeping getting the first point for the team from the Far East. Let's go. So yesterday Italian won after an amazing start. There was some mistake made by the Japanese. They have a 1, 2, 3 at the first mark. They actually managed to do a lot of mistake and let the Japanese come back from that. Let's see if the Japanese practice their start and are getting to do a better race for this 3v3 against France.
Do you remember the roster of the Japanese yesterday against the Italians? Was it the same 3 players?
I think it was the same 3 players.
Looks like they're confirming their squads for each matchup. Likely gonna keep the same for the knockout stage. Knockout stage happening not next week, but the week after, right?
Yeah, correct. We are starting on the week starting the 25th. On the Tuesday, the 26th, the team can start to prepare and book their timing when they will know which meets are going to start.
3 seconds to go, boats lining up. We have 2 port starters. Watch out for the penalty start.
Yeah, penalty start for Iwario.
Yep, and XX0 Cool XX. Hello, everybody. Sarizami. Hello, how are you doing? Why postponement, Pimpy? That was because well, a player on each team was having issues joining in, and they asked for the delay. So we granted them another 3 minutes to join the race. And well, who did the best start?
Definitely French here again. Really not a good start for the Japanese. That with the penalty to Julie Fra actually are opening a little bit the match, but you know Julie Fra need to be handled by Iwario. If not, it's going to be difficult for the Japanese to come back. To be honest, I'm seeing a left wing shift coming. I'm not
I think
sure.
it's still going to be tight.
No.
The French might have like the advantage according to the ranking on the left. The Japanese are not far behind, so even if the French start their downwind first or they're reaching first, the Japanese are very close behind and can definitely catch up still.
So penalty for Yuko here from Azir that went there to make havoc for the Japanese team, and I believe Alex and Julifra are trying to go as fast as they could and getting 1 and 2, and Azir stay behind in the 3rd position, trying to give as much penalty as possible, slow down all the Japanese. And
oh, it's going to be Alex K first in the mark zone, rounding the mark. He is likely going to continue. No mark trap from him. Asir is going to slow down. Watch out for the friendly fire, and Julifra, I think, is going to. I thought he was touching the mark, but no, it was a penalty from. Hopefully not friendly fire.
Penalty from Iwario. No, was Yuko probably. But to be honest, amazing running on the mark. Ooh, probably for Azir that he missed the mark.
He missed the mark. He's going to have to sail back and round the mark again. That's going to put the French in a very difficult position. Alex K and Judy Farr are going to have to work to give a chance to Asir to come back. The good thing is that Asir is not going to be slowed down by anyone. He's not going to have to worry about anyone chasing him and dodging and weaving, so he might be able to gain some meters, but is that going to be enough? We'll have to see.
Yeah. Look at Mumui Alex Kowalski match on the right-hand side. Is really, really tough, really, really interesting. Mui trying to slow down Alex, and Mui being covered a little bit from Yuko, but Alex Kowalski is in a no-wind zone. 2 knots of difference between the players. Let's see if he can avoid the penalty. Yeah, and Mui avoid the penalty. and right now is really big trouble for the French.
Very big trouble, and zero cool. It is going to be a very difficult race tonight. Every race is going to be very difficult, very competitive for both teams. There's no clear winner, at least before the match. Alex K taking the penalty from Wimwee. And also missing the mark. So Pimpy, if we've seen Esther trying to round the mark, but also taking a 31, so touching the mark, meaning that he might have rounded the mark too narrowly and touched the mark, but not rounding it, meaning that he had to round it again. But that means that the Japanese have 1-2 position, which is a winning combination in a 3v3. 1 and 2, where 1 and 3 is going to win you the race, no matter what happens with the third player. No, GL777, that wasn't lag. Lag, you would have seen the boats teleporting.
Yeah, exactly. No, there is another issue, but we do not have the proof to see it yet. So I ask for Azir to provide us with information, and then we will do that. At the moment is 1-4 for the Japanese that needed to be. Can we see a recording while we wait for the next race? If we have the recording, yes. The problem is we needed to have them before.
You can also just clip it on the stream itself. You can go back by a few minutes.
Yeah, but the problem is we do not need to see what we were seeing, because that was not the problem.
Yeah, I think Pinky was talking about like for the viewers.
For the viewers.
I might be
wrong. At the moment, 1-4 for the Japan, and we will continue for the next one. Am I correct?
Yes, 1-2-4 for the Japan is going to be another win for the Japanese. And we're going to continue on to race number 3 with the 4v4 J70. Confirmation of the scores over here.
What did you? This one is a really big trouble for the French, and definitely there will be a hearing for it. Do you think it was an absolutely game changer, or Japanese were close enough to make the battle more intense?
Well, Asir was at the front of the fleet, if I'm not mistaken, when he took
when
he missed that mark rounding. So I think it could definitely change the outcome of this match, but we'll see what the protest committee decides.
To be honest, the Japanese have a comprehensive list and graphs that allow people to know exactly when to hoist, when to drop, with which intensity, and stuff like that. So in that way, the player Japanese are more advanced in the data analysis for these boats.
Okay, well, in the previous races, I did see them always, when they reach that reaching leg, they're gonna go like on a broad upwind, I guess, for the start of the reaching leg, and then go on a broad reach to for the other half of the reaching leg. And what that allowed them to do is not to lose too much speed, but stay above their opponents to wind shadow them, and then gain some speed as they were putting out the speed and the broad reach, and slowing down the opponents, but also taking the lead just before rounding the mark. And I don't know if they're going to repeat that again, but it looked like it was a strategy that worked quite well for them in the past races. 14 seconds to go. Boats are getting close to the start line. Maybe a bit of concentration on the committee boat over here. And I want to welcome all the newcomers to the chat. Xiao, Gato, Miao, Sweet Sailor. I don't know if I actually said hello to you.
Gato, welcome back. Really nice to see you again in the chat here. He is also being in the chat in Italy versus Japan. He is being in the chat for really a lot of races. So he's a frequent. He's not a newcomer, at least for me. At the moment, what we can say, because I do not. It's really tough because the Japanese lead is really narrow, and I believe only Oswil is the player with a little bit of advantage rather than over here. The French are a little bit struggling. Kazuki managed to cross in front of Mournier, and now is stuck in front of Pepito.
Yep. Well, boats tacking, trying to slow down the opponents. Japanese in front of the French for 3 of them.
To be honest, there are so many switch in this race. That's really hard to keep track of them. The only one I can tell that is Crickville and Mournier that are struggling a little bit with Pepito not in a really great shape. But at the moment, Alex Kowalski over there is the only French that is still in the top position, but with Ozil on his sail, he's losing a little bit of momentum. Definitely Japanese have 1-2. The problem is now KYUC is getting a penalty, and also KGR. No, KGR is smart and avoid that kind of situation.
KGR managed to dodge, but he's going to be behind 3 French boats. We're likely going to try to mark trap and another penalty here on Quich and KGR as well. Both Japanese at the end taking the penalty, and if the French can push them in the 7 and 8 position, that's going to be a win for France. 7-8 is a losing combo in a 4v4.
Yeah, but KUYC is not exactly in the last position. So if KGR, that is one of the strongest eSailer from Japan, is actually managing to keep Crickville in the back of the fleet and like make a distance between them, that should be fine. What do you think?
Yep. Well, we'll see how this downwind plays. We still have the 2 Japanese in front. It's going to be Alex K behind them, and he's going to chase. Looks like it's going to be Kazuki, but too far from Alex K. So sorry, that's Pepito. Pepito's wind shadow. Alex K is going to be on the left over here, and he's being followed by Quich 31471. And as you said, KGR is going to have to try to battle both Kriegville and maybe Mournier as well. And Japan,
is he doing an amazing job?
Yep. Japan Karubu, good morning to you. Showing his support for Team Japan, and Paul V35, hello new friends from FRA. Nice to see you on the chat. We hope you're doing well.
Yeah. Amazing maneuver by KGR, stopping in an amazing way Crickville. But at the moment, Alex K is in a stronger wind. He's keeping the first position. And I do not think the combo is still on favor of it's still in favor of Japan, but not for much, to be honest.
It's gonna change. It's gonna switch very often. Alex K did have the first position briefly, but was slowed down by 2 Japanese boat and currently fighting against Özgül for that first place. But if you look at the top of your screen on the right over there, there is going to be another Japanese boat in the mix for that podium place.
And the most important thing is for Japan to keep 5th, 6th, and 7th position behind. So even if Alex K is winning over there, doesn't matter. The most important thing is Pepito is not catching up too much. And at the moment, I believe KGR did an amazing job stopping both Mournier and Crickville. And Alex K and Pepito are doing their best to stop Özgür.
Yeah, they're going to want to penalty sit. They're going to want to penalize him just as much as they can to bring Mournier and Crickville in front. But Özgür managing to escape, and it's going to be Pepito taking the penalty. Alex K still in the race to try to catch up. But Özgür is going to reach that upwind first, and he's in a good position to do a mark trap with 3 French boat behind him, as KGR is taking the penalty at the mark behind.
So I believe actually Foiled is on a good says 161 Japan, and to be honest, with the start that we have,
it's still far fetched. This is the first 2 races, well, third one if we're counting this one. It does look like a Japanese win so far. Knowing that we do have a protest currently lodged by the French for race number 2, for that mark rounding by Acer, and we'll see what the outcome is for that. If that means a resell, if that means a redress of some sort, we will see. And a very nice to see you in the chat as well, showing your support for the Japanese folks.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's going to be rough for the French to do anything here.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 is a deadly combo, and this one we actually did not see anything that could bring justice to the French. No lag and no funny stuff, and this is all amazing job by KGR blocking both Crickville and Mournier, and KUYC going on the left hand side of the racing area with Alex Kowalski, getting the big puff that arrived and get first, second, and third position.
Looks like 1, 2, 3 is going to be confirmed. Is it going to be 4, 5, 6 for the French, or 4, 5, 6, 7? They did manage to put KGR in a penalty. We did see, I think it was one of the French, like the Mournier, who dialed down on KGR and just pushing him into 8th. As the French take the middle spots.
Yep.
And there we have the
3-0 at the moment for, yeah. What do you think? What we saw at the moment?
Well, we saw
so
a
far.
good French start, but we saw a better race management after from the Japanese.
Yeah. Yeah, and to be honest, I believe at this moment the Japanese is the team that you need to beat. He won by a narrow win against the Italians, and in that case, was really a difficult things to to come back also from the Italian. So Italian, French, and Japan at the moment are, I believe, at the same level, and just a small mistake, just a small thing can change everything. Poland and Sweden are on the rise. We saw Poland giving a lot of trouble to the Italians. Sweden the same. So, we are having a lot of really, really strong team coming up, and definitely Japan is the one that is on the rise.
Race number 4 is a go. All 10 skippers in. On the French side, Pepito, Alcalea, Full Hydrocell, Giansulik, Stéphane Gazan, and on the Japanese side, Japan 985, Vegas, Ozul, Totexi, and KGR. So captain and vice captain for the Japanese currently in the race, Vegas and KGR. Totexi, Ozul, Japan 985, awesome big names in the Japanese community that we've seen in numerous finals throughout the year in the eSailing World Championship, notably. And then, well, Full Hydrocell, a new name in the French squad for this year, but that we've already seen in previous matches. Alcalea against Luc, Stéphane Galzin are all some recurring names and strong confirmed French players for that French squad. And Pepito, well, we've seen him in the first race.
Yeah.
And well, 25 seconds to go. Boats positioning themselves closer to the start line.
To be honest, with offshore racer, it's a little bit tricky if you position yourself too early. I believe the French put themselves in a really, really early position, and let's see what is going to happen really, really soon. 3, 2,
a
1.
port starter on the Japanese squad. Watch out for the penalty start. A false start for Vegas. No, that was
Vegas.
a 10.
Okay. And KGR is fighting with Alcalea. But at the moment, 1, 2, 3 Japan. I told you France was a little bit too early. And in this case, he was not in a good position.
Yeah, with the offshore racer, you also have this bowsprit at the start, which can play some tricks on the players. We've seen that happen several times. So maybe, yeah, be cautious for it. The advantage is on the Japanese at the start of this race. Well, KGR is going to be the first one to reach the mark with a ton of pink boats behind him, so he can have fun with a mark trap as Alcalea takes the penalty. Well, watch out for friendly fire between all these boats. That's a difficulty as well when your whole squad is more or less at the same level. You can easily put some friendly fire, especially around the marks. But the French managed that pretty well, and KGR doing his best to try to slow down this pink mass behind him and pushing Stéphane Galzin out of the way, but 3 Frenchmen managed to pass in front. It's going to be a 1-2-3 for the French at the start of this upwind.
And the match completely swapped because, the position they were before. So even if it was not a great start for the French, is definitely a better race management. But at the moment, Alcalea, to be honest, is really, really covered by a lot of players, and Totexi is going actually half a knot faster. Let's see what Stéphane Gazan is doing. He's actually trying to slow down Totexi so Alcalea can have a cleaner wind, but also Osweilos over there. It's very difficult that there is the puff coming down with them, but there is a KGR, for example, with no wind over there. So it's going a little bit slower. It's not an easy call over there.
And not an easy call, and with this slow wind, it's going to be slow to catch up with the fleet in front. Stéphane Gazan taking a penalty. Any winning combinations that we know of for a 5v5? Obviously, the 1-2-3 is a very powerful one.
1-2-5 is only losing with 9 and 10. So unless Alcalea is going to lose a lot of position, it's really tough for Japanese to come back on this one.
Yeah, and we see some friendly fire at the ley line over here. Was that Pepito going into full hydrocell, penalizing him? They must have thought that that was worth the risk because they are still maintaining their 1-2-3 position.
Yep. And this one is a win for the French.
Not jinx it as KGR touches the
easy
mark.
win for the French.
KGR touches the mark, and the Japanese did a good job of pushing the last two French into 9 and 10 position. But as you said, that is likely not going to be enough to win the race.
Yep.
As all Pepito, Hydrocell, and Alcalá need to do is finish the race.
Yeah.
Stéphane Galzin also taking the penalty from Vegas. I think that was Japan 95 also in penalty. And the Japanese doing their best to cover the two French behind. And hello to you too, Harder. Nice to see you in the chat.
So this one will bring us a 3-1, right?
This one will give us 3-1. Is that going to be the remontada from the French, or is that just going to be a one-off victory? We'll see with the next races. After that, it's going to be closer to a fleet race with the 99 49er. So maybe more random or RNG as to who is going to win the race. There's no real tactical decisions to make or winning combinations to think of with a 99, or if there is, it's a lot harder to predict and apply.
19, 20, 20, 25 points for the French.
That is correct.
21, 30 points for the Japanese. And this has give the start of the remontada for the French. Definitely a remontada here. What do you think?
Well, watch out for the jinx.
Yep. That will not be a news for me. 99, 49er with a lot of wind. This is the most amazing race because, in my opinion, give you a nice idea who actually is the strongest team in the matter of going as fast as you can.
Looks like they are. So race number 6. No, 5 is a go. Wait, are they in control of it? There they are. So for the 49er, as we said before, it's going to be closer to fleet racing, so maybe your fleet race skills are most important there. But it is in a team racing competition, so the team effort will be important. What we mean by that is that obviously it's very hard to predict and apply some winning combinations because there are just so many with the 9v9. Same for the losing combinations. So your focus is going to be racing your race as fast as you can, as clean as you can. But if you see a teammate struggling near you and that you can help him without losing too many places, then go do that. Same if you see an opponent near you that you can penalize and slow down without losing too many places, we'll do that as well. Because if you do that enough times, well, then that's going to greatly help your team out in the long run, even if it's just for 1 or 2 positions.
20 seconds to the start. I believe if you see a player from the other team, you need to hunt him. What do you think?
Sorry,
that is always the right choice.
What did you say?
That if you find an opponent, hit him.
Yeah, if you find an opponent, hit him. Just don't lose too many plays. Obviously, if you're going to lose 5 positions trying to win just 1 position, then that's not a winning combo over here. But if you can easily penalize him without losing too much, then definitely do that because, well, with a fast boat like the 49er, a penalty is going to greatly impact your race, and that's going to allow a lot of room for your opponents to catch up and will overtake you.
amazing start from Kanako, I believe. We have she is in one of the few Japanese players in the lead, and the rest of the Japanese are are missing in action. So let's see if we actually can see a remontada, because this one is definitely a French combo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 10. It's really, really tough to come back, but 49er is the boat that one and I like the most. You see, there is a left wing shift coming up, but the path was on the right. Now is disappearing from the right. It's coming back from the left, and Vegas get lead. Difficult comeback from the Japanese, but a nice mark trap by Vegas could make an interesting thing. What do you think? No worries.
Yes, definitely a nice comeback from Vegas. And well, I was looking away, and suddenly we have maybe more Japanese in the top 9. I'm looking at the top 9, trying to count the number of players, but actually it's
Yeah.
fairly even still. Vegas has the advantage at the mark. He's going to be followed by Ozil, and I was going to say he's rounding the mark the wrong way, but absolutely not. It is just me. We're back onto the classic upwind, downwind course, so marks are going to have to be left onto port and not on starboard. I think we saw Muimi trying to round the mark the round way.
Yeah, but a lot of friendly fire in this mark rounding. I saw pop a couple of French penalties. One French did a mark trap, hit one Japanese, one French. Not sure if it was a good thing. Oswell trapped by Hydrosail at the moment, to be honest, is a tough one, because they have a lot of in the lead, but they have also a lot in the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the lead, 3 in the back. Still a good combo.
Yeah, 6 positions in the top 9 is very powerful. You're kind of missing just this first place to be a little more comfortable. They don't have last place. They do have 13, 14, which is kind of mid last, but 17 is definitely gonna add a lot of points. But for the Japanese, well, they have more players in the second half, so slight favor towards the French.
Yeah, I will say French is at the moment around 100 points, and the Japanese are the Japanese are 100 points. The French are around 60, high 60. So I believe that Japanese at the moment are risking to lose this point.
Yeah, and the French are gonna want that, because the Japanese are just one round away from winning this encounter, and then it's just going to be a matter of, is it a decisive win or is it a narrow win? So maybe explaining a bit how the round robin in the eSailing Nations Cup works. Each team is going to go against every other team, so we have 7 teams in total. And they're going to play against every other team. A win is going to grant you 3 points. If you manage to win with 6-1 or 7-0, you're going to get a bonus offensive points, meaning that you'll gain 4 points. A loss is going to give you 1 point, but if you manage to stay closer to score by losing 4-3 or 5-2, then you're going to get a bonus defensive points, and that will give you 2 points in total. And then we're going to tally up the points. Most amount of points obviously is the best, and that's how there's going to be. That's going to decide the ceiling for the knockout stage and the second stage of the competition, happening from the 26th onwards after the grand final of the eSailing World Championship. And while I was explaining all of that, Vegas has lost his first position and allowed Alex K, Julie Fra, Stéphane Gazan, and Brest Power to pass in front of him.
Yeah, definitely not a great maneuver by Vegas here. Did not slow down any of the opponent, get 2 penalties, and from 1 to 6, now we are looking at Low 60 for the French, and that's definitely an unbeatable position at the moment. And congratulations for the early comeback to the French. You see, no jinx this time.
And that was definitely a jinx. But we'll see how this downwind finishes. But obviously, yes, with the French, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for them is definitely going to put them in a very comfortable position. They also still have the 7th as well. So they're maintaining 6 players in the top 9. And then a 10th place for Mournier, which is still a decent place in the 9v9. And then 16 and 18 is going to hurt, but not too much since they all have the low points at the start.
Yeah, it will hurt only for me because I said late 50, early 60, so points. So probably I will be staking in that case. So 1, 2 is already in.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Penalty.
5. And who's going to take the 6th place?
Ozil.
It's likely going to be Ozil, Kriegville in 7, Tutexi in 8, Mournier in 9. We're going to confirm that with the end of race screen. Kadako with a penalty behind, so Alcalea managing to avoid that 18th place. And there we have the final confirmed finishing position. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, and 15, 17 for the French.
17. And then for the Japanese, we have a 6 in Ozil, 7 to Texi, KUIC in 10, 11 for Vegas, 12 Mui Mui, 13 JPN, 985, 14 Ivario, 16 Yuko, and 18 Kanako.
That's going to make it 63 to 108, and the second win for France. Will they be able to tie it with the next race? We will see. It's going to be the return of the mixed race in the 3v3 K70.
The 3v3 mixed. Let's see what's the roster for the French, because I believe the strongest player have finished for the night. The strongest French player.
Azir?
Like Azir. Yeah, Alex finished. Azir. Yeah, Azir. Sorry, we still have Azir that is doing the 3v3 with Black Panther and Crick. Breast Powder, Jurifra, Azir, and a full Hydro for the last race. Let's see what's the roster for the Japanese that have Kanako, Yuko, Kazuki. Wow.
That's going to be a tough race.
But here we have J70, 3v3 and mixed. The prediction is really, really tough because Azir and Kazuki are prime sailor, but I believe Azir is slightly stronger than Kazuki. On the same, Kanako and Black Panther are incredible players, but I believe Kanako is better. So, and Crickville, Yuko? I will say Yuko a little bit more than Crickville. What do you say? What do you think about that?
I think I'm going to favor maybe Yuko slightly above Kriegville in terms of fleet racing skill. I don't know them much for team racing skill. Well, I don't know Yuko a lot for team racing skill, or Kriegville either. The only info I have is from previous Nations Cup, and the previous Nations Cup, France has beaten Japan every time except for the first edition. So we'll see, and I'm gonna agree with you. Serre has the biggest history in terms of like accomplishments in eSailing, but this year Kazuki has really popped off and winning by a landslide every final that he has been in. But that was obviously team racing, fleet racing. So we'll see how that transfers into team racing. but 15 seconds to go. Boats getting closer. The start is going to be important. You want to control your opponents on
Yep.
this first upwind to be in a more comfortable position in the downwind. And if you are doing a well, worse start than your
Definitely.
opponents, stay close to them. And a good start from the French, 2 penalties from the Japanese. That's going to put them in a difficult position. But it's not over. Obviously, this is just the first upwind.
Yeah. At the moment, I'm saying amazing start from the French, 2 Japanese in the back, and I believe we can have Kanako in the lead, but I do not think she will stay. Massive puff coming from the right-hand side. Difficult for the Japanese at this moment because I believe at the moment it's 1, 2, 3 France. At the moment,
Yep.
Black Panther is getting the 3rd position, but to be honest, Kanako and Kazuki are really, really close. Let's see if Yuko is being followed by Black Panther or not. Yeah, exactly. I believe that was the plan for the Japanese team here to let Kanako get the right-hand side, having Kazuki and Kanako close and let's start again.
Yep. We will see how this changes as they get closer to the mark. But the last French is likely going to have to do some sort of mark trap to slow down the Japanese and give some breathing space to the 2 other teammates. Usually that's Aser's job in the team racing. It's usually the one at the mark doing and putting the penalties on the opponents, but they might decide to change depending on their position. Aser was the first to reach the mark, and he is slowing down. He wants to slow down Kazuki as well.
I believe
Putting
this
a
is trouble
penalty on
for the Japan.
Kazuki, putting a penalty on Yuko. What a move from Aser, penalizing 2 of the Japanese, and that's exactly what we were talking about just before. Slowing down the Japanese to give a bit more breathing space to his teammates. And looks like he's just going to have fun at the back of the fleet over here. And the Japanese are going to have to fend
Yeah.
him off.
But to be honest, at the moment, Creekville and Black Panther both having the lead at the moment. And it will be really, really tough for Japan to
Another penalty here
win this
from
race.
Aser onto Kazuki. And if, well, as you said, if the French can just keep that 1 and 2 position, it's going to be a wrap for them. 1 and 2 or 1 and 3 is a winning combo in a 3v3. And Aser is so good, I have to agree with you, MK Ospo. Mkotpo. But
And
if
this race
Creekville and Black
was win at the
Panther,
start for the French, and this is an amazing way. You can see how the Japanese need to improve their 3v3 skills, especially during the start. They are a little bit too weak on penalty. They always found themselves in a really, really tricky position, and in that position, they always start from a really big disadvantage.
yeah,
Azir is so good from the chat, yeah?
yeah,
Yeah.
and we see Aser and Kanako going completely onto port over there. As well, Black Panther and Creekville are still making their way towards the downwind mark. Out of reach so far from Kazuki and Yuko. But by doing this, that means that maybe the Japanese have put Aser far enough from Kazuki and Yuko, and maybe with some sort of miracle, Kazuki and Yuko can catch up on the 2 first and puts Creekville out of, or Black Panther out of the top 3. But it's going to be very hard, as Black Panther and Creekville are going to reach the mark. You see them at the top of your screen, the 2 pink sails rounding the mark onto the last reaching leg, leading into the last upwind for the finish.
Well done to the French here. So I believe this one was this is kind of things that can happen in the team race. You can finish a race even before starting if the level between if the skill on the starting for the player is not as is the same. I believe an amazing start for Azir that give 2 penalty on the start, killing both Yuko and Kazuki, and that one was game over for Japan.
Yep, we do see Kazuki creeping in onto the podium places into second place, but not to worry. For the French, 1 and 2 or 1 and 3 is still a winning combo. We've said that, repeated that several times already. So even if the French lose their 1 and 2, they're gonna keep the 1 and 3 at worst case scenario. They're keeping 1 and 3, and that's still a win for them.
Yeah, but if actually Kazuki can manage to get the first position here, and Yuko is going to help Azir, Kanako against Azir, this is a game changer, my friend. It's not finished yet. Look at Kazuki. Massive right wing shift. Everything is going to change. I believe he still needs. It's really tough because at the moment the Black Panther is in second position, but she needs to do 2 attacks, but the right wing shift is still there. And it's actually coming on left wing shift, so definitely she need to attack. Kazuki do not need to attack. This one will be really close.
It's going to be a Kazuki finish in the first place, and that could change everything for the rest.
And now Yuko
deciding, deciding not to finish. Ooh, that changes everything.
Yeah, that changed everything. And you see Yuko's doing his best to stop Azir. Quickville coming back in that way is really risky.
It is risky, but might be necessary.
Yeah, but if he gets a penalty there,
and he puts the penalty
for
here.
Yuko.
Yeah, penalty here for Yuko. Quickville is gonna double tack again, try to stay above Yuko.
But look, he put himself in a really difficult position. At the moment, it's a really tough race. Yuko is in the middle.
Well, we said in the 3v3, the 3v3, you have to score 10 points or less. So as long as you're less than 10, you're going to win. And Quickville is going to confirm the 3rd place. SL is going to take that 4th place. That almost was a complete change. We thought the French had it in their pockets. And, well, Kazuki almost said, well, not entirely. But with a 2-3-4 for the French, it's going to be 3-3 for France versus Japan, and the tiebreaker is going to be on the last race, which we love to see in the 4v4 F50.
Yeah, absolutely. (4v4) F50, right?
Yep. Fastest race tonight.
Yeah, fastest race tonight, and let's see if we can see the roster here. We have Full Hydro, Azir, Julifra, and Best Breast Power against KUIC, Muy, JPN 985, and KGR. Ooh.
We're gonna watch. And
I call for a draw. So not jinxing anyone.
Okay, so all 8 players in. It is currently 11. So the last race for this France versus Japan is a go. And we see Nikosh in the chat supporting his French with Ali.
What do you think is the right skill here? Is giving the penalty before the start or starting faster? Because I believe there are players like, I don't know, in the position of Mui Mui, for example, that are coming back full speed, then jibing and going at full speed to the start in a faster way rather than the opponent from France.
I
Or
guess
you start straight like the French and give a penalty and try to get the position through the penalty rather than through the full speed.
I think you're going to have to do a combination of both. I think you're going to have some of your squad who you're going to tell you guys focus on just starting fast and we'll focus on putting the penalties. Because if you decide to fully go on one or the other and it doesn't work, you're going to be in a very, very difficult position.
Friendly fire to KGR, but also penalty to Azir. I believe Japan is started slightly faster, but Julie Fry in that position is definitely something
in a
that you
very
do
good
not want to
position.
have.
Mui in a also very good position. Julie is going to round the mark straight away. Mumi's going to accompany Full Hydrocell a bit further. Full Hydrocell taking the penalty from Kuich. And we have one French in the lead, followed by 3 Japanese. And the last Japanese closing the march with KGR.
Yeah. 5, 9, 2, 3, 4, always winning. That's an always winning combo. So keep it and you're going to win. But at the moment, I believe there is a little bit of trouble between Azir, Burst Power, and Full Hydrocell. They do not sort it out well how to pass all together on the same mark. They should have split better. And this one is giving us still another advantage for the Japanese.
It did lead to a penalty on KGR, but obviously KGR was already in the back seats. So you're just penalizing a boat that is already behind you, rather than trying to catch up on those in front. Judy Fra still has the lead, so he still has a say in this, especially when it's going to come to the mark rounding. And well, with the
F50 dial down.
With the F50 being a very fast boat, a penalty is well, more or less a guarantee that your teammate is going to overtake.
At the moment that the combo is happy for the French, just to let you know. But, is swapping a lot depending on the wind shift. And let's see if we can still be safe from Azir. He attack again and lost a lot of speed and probably he was going to attack in front of Breast Power again. Same things again. At the moment is more trouble for the Japan. Really bad tactic from Mui Mui. But let's see if
dial down from Breast Power. There's going to be I'm not sure when we rounded the mark. Yes, that was some self penalty here from Mimi trying to dial down onto Breast Power, but Breast Power managing to avoid that penalty and dodge him. It means that Mimi was suddenly having to in some sort of weird spot where he had to come back and round the mark again.
Yep.
Meaning that currently the Japanese have 7 and 8, which is a losing combo.
Yeah. YKUYC did that. He put himself in the wrong position. He get a penalty from Azir. Big gift from Japan.
And so, well, just with that, we have 1, 2, 3 for the French.
Yeah. Full Hydrocell and Truck Best Power are the player that needed to be careful to do not get too many penalties. But at the moment, I do not see anyone from the Japanese team that can do something about it.
Well, if they just had to focus on one boat, it could be possible. But with 3 French players in front, it's going to be impossible for them at this stage, if we snapshot the score, to win, because well, they need to push 2 of the French in 7 and 8 to guarantee the win for them.
Yeah. One is possible, two is really, really tough.
Yeah, one is definitely possible. We've seen that. Well, I've seen it in the France versus Germany where France had a 1-2-3 and they wanted 1-2-3-4. So eSailing decided that he was going to penalize the whole German squad and allow the last French to get the fourth place or get the third place.
Oh,
And
penalty
eSailing
for
got the
full
third.
hydrosail, but
Penalty for full
JPN.
hydrosail at the mark. Penalty for Quich for touching the mark. Just as you thought they might have something over here, it didn't happen. Trap breast power going very low under the ley line. And looks like we're going to have a 1-2-3. Well, hydrosail also going below the ley line. He's going to maybe give his fourth place. He is not. He's going to penalize Quich again. And the French are going to take 1-2-3-4. And we'll talk about a comeback from the French. 3-0 down, winning 4-3. What a match.
Yeah.
And there we have
So
confirmation of the score.
Yeah.
Sorry, go for it.
No, the night is not finished here, I want to say, because right now we'll have France against Switzerland, Germany, sorry.
We're going to have France against Switzerland. And
So,
starting at 1:30, I believe.
okay. So we still have like 10 minutes.
Yeah, we're going to, yeah, exactly. We're going to keep the stream on. You're going to get some music to enjoy in the meantime. But we're going to go on a small break, get some water, get some, yeah, just going on a small break. And we're likely also going to see when that hearing for the redress or not for the protest is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll keep you all up to date as soon as we get some information.
Yeah.
Let me just show you the final score for this. There we have it. So we have France versus Switzerland just after that. So do not leave yet. You can go for a 10-minute break. But France versus Switzerland is going to start at 1:30. But currently, as it stands, it's going to be 4-3 for France. What a match. That was Japan starting very strong with 3-0, and then the French coming back and just dominating this last 4v4 F50 with the 1-2-3-4. Just proving that, well, they still have it and they still want it. So it is going to be very interesting to see at the end during the knockout stage which of these teams between Italy, Japan, and France is going to be the one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
definitely.
France 4, Japan 3. We're going to go into well, maybe the protest. We'll see what the jury's decision is. And well, next up is going to be France versus Switzerland today in just 10 minutes.